Rule 7, Batting. Section 1, Position and Batting Order. Article 1. Each player of the team at bat shall become the batter and shall take his position within the batter's box, on either side of home plate, in the order in which his name appears on the lineup card, as delivered to the umpire prior to the game. This order shall be followed during the entire game, except that an entering substitute shall take the replaced player's place in the batting order. A batter is in proper order if he follows the player whose name precedes his in the lineup, even though such preceding batter may have batted out of order. An improper batter is considered to be at bat as soon as he is in the batter's box and the ball is live. When the improper batter's infraction is first discovered by either team, time may be requested and the improper batter replaced by the proper batter, with the improper batter's ball and strike count still in effect, provided the infraction is detected before the improper batter is put out or becomes a base runner. Only the defensive team may appeal batting out of order after the batter has completed his time at bat. Any outs made on the play stand. An out for batting out of order supersedes an out by the improper batter on a play. While the improper batter is at bat, if a runner advances because of a stolen base, balk, wild pitch, or pass ball, such advance is legal. Article 2. After the first inning, the first batter in each inning shall be the player whose name follows that of the last batter who completed his time at bat in the preceding inning. Penalties for batting out of order. 1. A batter shall be called out on appeal when he fails to bat in his proper turn and another batter completes a time at bat in his place. When an improper batter becomes a runner or is put out, the defensive team appeals to the umpire before the first legal or illegal play or attempted play, or prior to an intentional base on balls, before the infielders leave the diamond. If the half inning is ending, the umpire shall declare the proper batter out and return all runners to the base occupied at the time of the pitch. 3. When an improper batter becomes a runner or is put out and a legal pitch or a legal pitch has been delivered to the succeeding batter, or an intentional base on balls has occurred, or all infielders have left a diamond if a half inning is ending, and before an appeal is made, the improper batter becomes the proper batter, and the results of his time at bat become legal. 4. When the proper batter is called out because he has failed to bat in turn, the next batter shall be the batter whose name follows that of the proper batter thus called out. 5. When an improper batter becomes a proper batter because no appeal has been made properly above, the next batter shall be the batter whose name follows that of such legalized improper batter. The instant an improper batter's actions are legalized, the batting order picks up with the name following that of the legalized improper batter. Note: when several players bat out of order before discovery so that the player's time at bat occurs while he is a runner, such player remains on base, but he is out as a batter. Section 2. Strikes, balls, and hits. Article 1. A strike is charged to a batter when a pitch enters any part of the strike zone in flight and is not struck at. B. A pitch is struck at and missed even if the pitch touches the batter. C. A pitch becomes a foul when the batter has less than 2 strikes. D. A pitch becomes a foul tip, even the 3rd strike, or a foul from an attempted bunt. E. A batter delays. F. A batted ball contacts the batter in the batter's box. Foul ball. Article 2. A ball is credited to the batter when a pitch is not touched by the bat and is not a strike, or when there is an illegal pitch or pitcher delay. Article 3. A foul ball or a fair hit, which may be a bunt, occurs when a pitch is touched by the bat of the batter who is in the box. Section 3. Batting infractions. A batter shall not. Article 1. Delay the game by failing to take his position promptly in the batter's box within 20 seconds. The batter must keep at least 1 foot in the batter's box throughout the time at bat. Exception. A batter may leave the batter's box when the batter swings at a pitch. B. The batter is forced out of the box by a pitch. C. The batter attempts a drag bunt. D. The pitcher or catcher feints or attempts a play at any base. E. The pitcher leaves the dirt area of the pitcher's mound or takes a position more than 5 feet from the pitcher's plate after receiving the ball. F. A member of either team requests and is granted time. G. The catcher leaves the batter's box to adjust his equipment or give defensive signals. Or H. The catcher does not catch a pitched ball. Penalty. For failure of the batter to be ready within 20 seconds after the ball has returned to the pitcher, the umpire shall call a strike. If the batter leaves the batter's box, delays the game, and none of the above exceptions apply, the plate umpire shall charge a strike to the batter. The pitcher need not pitch, and the ball remains live. Article 2. Hit the ball while either foot or knee is touching the ground completely outside the lines of the batter's box or touching home plate. Article 3. Disconcert the pitcher by stepping from the box on one side of home plate to the box on the other side while the pitcher is in position ready to pitch. Penalty. For infractions of Articles 2 and 3, the ball becomes dead immediately and the batter is out. Article 4. Permit a pitched ball to touch him. Penalty. The batter remains at bat. The pitch is a ball or a strike unless pitch was a third strike or ball 4. Article 5. Interfere with the catcher's fielding or throwing by A. Leaning over home plate. B. Stepping out of the batter's box. C. Making any movement, including follow-through interference, which hinders action at home plate or the catcher's attempt to play on a runner. Or D. Failing to make a reasonable effort to vacate a congested area when there is a throw to home plate and there is time for the batter to move away. Penalty. When there are 2 outs, the batter is out. When there are not 2 outs, the runner is advancing to home plate. If the runner is tagged out, the ball remains live and the interference is ignored. Otherwise, the ball is dead and the runner is called out. When an attempt to put out a runner at any base other is unsuccessful, the batter is out and all runners must return to the bases occupied at the time of the pitch. If the pitch is a third strike and in the umpire's judgment interference prevents a possible double play, 2 may be ruled out. Article 6. If the bat breaks and is hit by the ball or hits a runner or fielder, no interference shall be called. If a whole bat is thrown and interferes with a defensive play, interference will be called. Penalty. The batter is out and runners return. If, in the umpire's judgment, interference prevented a possible double play, 2 players may be ruled out. Article 7. Commit backswing interference. The ball is dead immediately. Section 4. Batter is out. Article 1. A batter is out when A. The batter enters the batter's box with an illegal bat or is discovered having used an illegal bat. If the infraction is discovered before the next pitch following a turn to bat, the player who used an illegal bat, the defensive may take the penalty or the results of the play. B. A third strike is not caught, provided a runner occupies first base and there are less than 2 outs. 1. If there are 2 outs or if no runner occupies first base, the batter is not out unless the third strike is caught. He is entitled to try to reach first base before being tagged out or thrown out. C. A third strike is caught. D. A foul ball, other than a foul tip, not a third strike, is caught by a fielder or such catch is prevented by a spectator reaching into the playing area. E. An attempted to bunt on third strike is a foul. F. Any member of the offensive team or coach or other than the runner interferes with a fielder who is attempting to field a foul fly ball. G. A team playing with one less than the starting number and that turn to bat is reached. H. He enters the game as an illegal substitute and is discovered. Or I. He intentionally deflects a foul ball which has a chance of becoming fair. Rule 8. Base running. Section 1. When batter becomes a runner. Article 1. A batter becomes a runner with the right to attempt to score by advancing to first, second, third, and home bases in the listed order when A. He hits a fair ball. 1. Becomes a batter runner when entitled to run. B. He is charged with third strike. Rule 7. Batting. Position and batting order. 7-1-1. Situation A. With R1 on first, B7 is the next batter in the batting order, but B8 erroneously takes his place. The error is discovered by the opposing team personnel. A. After B8 has received 2 strikes, or B. After B8 has received a base on balls or is hit by a pitch, or C. After B8 has hit a foul ball that is caught or made a safe hit to advance R1, or D. After the pitch has been delivered to B9. Ruling. In A, there is no penalty. B7 takes the place of B8 at the plate with 2 strikes and no ball count. If R1 should have advanced through a steal or a wild pitch while the incorrect batter was batting, it is a legal advance. In B and C, B7, the proper batter, is declared out. B8 is removed from base and bats again with no balls, no strikes. R1 must return to first. In D, no correction is made and B7 and B8 do not bat again until their regular times. B9 is now the proper batter. Situation B. B7 erroneously bats instead of B5. With a count of 3 balls and 2 strikes on B7, the batting infraction is detected by A. B5, or B. F6, or C. Coach of the other team, or D. B7. Ruling. When the improper batter's infraction is first discovered by either team, time may be requested and the improper batter replaced by the proper batter with the improper batter's ball and strike count still in effect, provided the infraction is detected before the improper batter is put out or becomes a base runner. In all cases, B5 will take the place of B7 at the plate with a count of 3 balls and 2 strikes. Situation C. The batting order is B1, B2, B3, B4. If B3 erroneously bats in place of B1 and the batting infraction is not detected by anyone before the pitch to the next batter, B2 or B4 is the next batter. Ruling. B4, since he follows B3 in the batting order. Neither B1 nor B2 may legally bat until their turns come again as listed. Situation D. With R3 on third and 2 outs, Improper batter, B5, appears at bat. During F1's windup, R3 breaks for home base and beats the pitch there and is called safe by the umpire. The pitch is not a strike 3 or ball 4. The team in the field realizes that B5 is an improper batter and calls it to the attention of the umpire. Ruling: the proper batter shall take his place at the plate with B5's accumulated ball and strike count. The run scored by R3 counts. The activity of the improper batter, B5, did not assist nor advance R3. The advance was made on merit. Of course, if the pitch to the improper batter had been strike 3 and the catcher either caught the ball or threw out B5 before he reached first base, then R3's run would not count. 7-1-2, Situation A. B1 singles and is followed by A, improper batter 3, who has a 2-ball, 2-strike count, or B, improper batter 3, who also singles in A and B. The defense discovers the irregularity at that point. In A, the improper batter, B2, takes the place of B3 at the plate and assumes his accumulated count. In B, B2 is out and any advance or score is nullified. B3 then becomes the next batter. Situation B. B5 is in batting instead of the proper batter, B4. The count is A, 2-2, or B, 1-1 and 2 outs. R3 is on third. On the pitch, B5 swings and misses, but F2 cannot come up with the ball. In A, B5 reaches first base safely, and A and B, R3 scores. Batting out of order is then appealed by the defense. Ruling: in A, B4 is declared out, and since it was third out, was made by the batter runner, who technically did not reach first base. R3's run does not count. In B, R3's runs count. B4 would simply replace B5 and assume B5's ball and strike count. Strikes, balls, and hits. 7-1, Situation A. With F1 having a hard time throwing strikes, the coach of the team at bat instructs B1 to assume an exaggerated crouch stance to lessen his strike zone. F1's first pitch is directly over the plate, but approximately chin high. When the umpire calls a strike, the coach of the team at bat requests time to ask the umpire how he's determining the batter's strike zone. Ruling: the umpire informs the coach that the strike zone is the space between home plate, which is halfway between the batter's shoulders and his waistline, and the knees. B1 assumes his natural batting stance. If a batter assumes an exaggerated stance, such as crouching, the umpire shall use his judgment to determine what the natural batting stance would be for the batter. Situation B. B1 starts to swing at the pitch but attempts to hold back on it or appears as though he attempts to bunt the ball. In either case, B1 misses the ball. How does umpire determine what to call the pitch? Ruling: a call of that nature is based entirely upon the umpire's judgment. Therefore, the umpire must, in order to be consistent, have a criteria to guide him in making the decision. The rule that most umpires follow is that if the bat is swung so that the front of the batter's body or ahead of it is a strike. In bunting, any movement of the bat towards the ball when the ball is over or near the plate area is a strike. The mere holding of the bat in the strike zone is not an attempt to bunt. Batting infractions. 7-1, Situation A. B1, who is leading off third base, walks halfway to third base to get a sign from his coach, who has not yet reached the coaching box. Ruling: as soon as F1 has completed his warm-up throws, the 20-second count on the batter begins, and he must be in the box ready for the pitch before the count ends. The umpire should caution B1 that he has 10 seconds or 5 seconds and if he has not established himself in the box after 20 seconds, a strike will be called. Situation B. With F1 on the pitcher's plate ready to deliver, B1 in the batter's box holds up his hand while he digs a hole in the box to get a better footing. Ruling. Umpire will not permit the pitcher to pitch, but will caution the batter as he nears the end of the 20-second count. If the batter's box is in poor condition because of rain during the game or some other good reason, the umpire will properly grant a timeout to the batter to make his adjustment. Situation C. B1, who is leading off the inning, decides to try to get upset F1 by delaying enter the batter's box. F1, seeing B1 is not in the box, does not assume his pitching position on the pitcher's plate. 20 seconds elapse. Ruling. B1 is charged with a strike. While F1 did not deliver the pitch within 20 seconds, he cannot pitch until the batter is set in the batter's box and therefore is not penalized. Situation D. B1 steps out of the batter's box. A. Without requesting time, or B. After he requests time, or C. Fails to enter the batter's box within 20 seconds. Ruling. In A, the umpire shall call a strike if he feels B1 delayed the game. In B, if the umpire grants time, the 20-second count will begin again as soon as the ball is declared live. If time is not granted by the umpire and B1 steps out of the batter's box, a strike shall be called on B1 if he delays the game. In C, the umpire shall call a strike. The pitcher does not have to throw a pitch. Situation E. With no runners on, B1 is properly in the batter's box and F1 is on the pitcher's plate. After 10 seconds, F1 steps back off the plate to say something to F6. The 20-second count elapses. Ruling. Since F1 was responsible for the delay, the umpire shall award a ball to B1. If F1 had returned to the pitcher's plate and delivered the ball within the 20-second count, there would have been no penalty. Comment. If F1 steps off the plate for good reasons, such as to tie his shoe, wipe perspiration from his glasses, etc., he should request time. But if the reason is obvious, umpires should grant time regardless. The same would apply to the batters. Situation F. B1 has a count of 3 balls and 1 strike. In A, F1 throws a pitch which B1 thinks is ball 4 and he starts running to first base prior to the umpire calling the pitch a strike. Or B, B1 incorrectly thought the count was 2 balls and 2 strikes and heads to the dugout after the umpire called the pitch a strike. Ruling. In both A and B, as long as the umpire judges that B did not delay the game, he would be allowed to continue at bat with a count of 3 balls and 2 strikes. If the umpire felt the game was delayed, he shall charge a strike to B1. Because of an additional strike, which now has been called, the batter is declared out in both A and B. Situation G. B2 has a count of 2 balls and 1 strike. A. F1 delivers a pitch which gets past F2 and goes to the backstop. B2 steps out of the batter's box. B. B2 attempts a drag bunt but does not swing at the pitch and ends up out of the batter's box. C. F2, after receiving the pitch, attempts to pick up R3 off at third base. B2 steps out of the batter's box. Ruling. Legal in A, unless the umpire judges that B2 delayed the game, shall call a strike on B2 for the violation of the batter's box rule. In B, neither the pitcher nor the batter has violated a rule. In C, neither the catcher nor the batter has violated a rule. Situation H. B1 is at bat with 3 ball, 1 strike count when F1 delivers the pitch. Thinking the pitch is a ball, B1 takes a couple of steps towards first base. Hearing the umpire call a pitch a strike, B1A returns immediately to the batter's box, or B, is disgusted with the call and takes his time returning to the batter's box. Ruling. In A, the umpire will not call an additional strike on B1 as he did not delay the game. The count is 3-2. In B, since B1 delayed the game, the umpire should declare the additional strike for violation on the batter's box rule. B1 is out and the ball remains live. Situation I. With no runners on base, B1 is properly in the batter's box and F1 is on the pitcher's plate. F1 steps back off the plate to say something to F5. Seeing this, B1 steps out of the box. A, without requesting time, or B, after requesting time and being granted time by the umpire. Ruling. In A, the umpire shall call a strike on the batter if his actions delayed the game. In B, neither the catcher nor the batter has violated any rule. Situation J. B1 does not swing at a pitch, which F2 catches then drops to the ground. There are less than 2 outs. Ruling. B1 may not leave the batter's box and delay the game without penalty because F2's caught the pitch and then dropped it. 7-3-2. Situation A. When is a batter's foot considered to be inside the batter's box? Ruling. The batter is considered to be in the batter's box when no part of either foot is touching the ground outside the boundary lines forming the batter's box. It is permissible for the feet to be touching the boundary lines that form the batter's box, since the lines are part of the box. The batter may legally hit the ball with one foot in the box and the other foot in the air outside the box and then contact the ground outside the box with the foot that was airborne. Situation B. B1 assumes his batting stance. A, with his right foot on the back line but not outside the back line of the batter's box. Or B, with his right foot partially on the back line and partially outside the back line of the batter's box. Or C, with his right foot completely outside the back line of the batter's box. Ruling. The stance in A is proper. However, in B and C, the umpire shall instruct the batter to assume his stance so neither foot is outside the lines of the batter's box. Situation C. B1 strides forward when making contact with the pitched ball. His front foot is in the air when a contact is made, then lands completely outside the line of the batter's box. Or B is partially on the line of the batter's box and partially on the ground outside the line of the batter's box. Or C is on the ground entirely outside the line of the batter's box. Ruling. In A and B, this is legal, but in C, the batter is out for making contact with a pitched ball while being out of the batter's box. Comment. The lines of the batter's box are within the box when taking a stance in the box. Both the batter's feet must be completely in the batter's box, not touching the ground outside the batter's box. When making contact with a pitched ball, if the foot is touching the line of the batter's box, it is considered to be in the batter's box, even if also touching the ground outside the line of the batter's box. Situation D. B1 hits A, a fair ball, B, a foul ball, C, a foul tip while either foot or knee is touching the ground completely outside the lines of the batter's box or touches home plate. Ruling. Illegal in A, B, and C. The batter is out for making contact with a pitched ball while being out of the batter's box or touching home plate. 7-3-4. Situation A. With R1 on first, B2 has 2 strikes. He swings at the next pitch, which touches him. R1 steals second. Ruling. B2 is out, the ball becomes dead, R1 must return to first. Situation B. B1 is at bat with a 3-ball, 2-strike count. He swings at the next pitch and the ball hits his right fist and, without contacting the ball, goes into foul territory. F2 retrieves the ball and throws to F3, who is covering first base, and tags B1 with the ball. Ruling. As soon as the ball hit the batter, it became dead. B1 is declared out. To have a play ruled a foul ball, the ball would have had to hit the bat before B1 touched his hand. Situation C. B1 is at bat with a 3-ball, no strike count. The batter rolls his elbow into the strike zone, and A, the pitch hits B1 in the shoulder and would have been a ball, or B, the pitch hits the batter in the elbow and was in the strike zone. In both cases, the batter made no other movement. Ruling. In A, B1 is awarded first base as it was ball 4, and in B, B1 is charged with a strike and remains at bat with a 3-ball, 1-strike count. Situation D. B1 is at bat with a 2-ball, no strike count. The batter is fooled by the pitch and did not permit the ball to hit him. The pitch hits B1 in the shoulder. The batter made no other movement. Ruling. B1 is awarded first base. 7-3-5, situation A. With R2 going to third, B2 steps across home plate to hinder F2, who is fielding the ball or throwing to third, or attempting to throw to third. Ruling. If R2 is tagged out despite the hindrance, the interference is ignored, and with less than 2 outs, the ball remains live. If R2 is not tagged out, B2 is declared out, and when there are less than 2 outs, the ball becomes dead immediately, and all runners return to the bases occupied at the time of pitch. Situation B. With 1 out and R1 on first base, B3 swings and misses, making contact with F2 on his follow-through. This action interferes with F2's throw to second base in an effort to put out advancing R1. Ruling. B3 is declared out and R1 is returned to first base. Situation C. B1 is currently up to bat with a 3-2 count, swings and misses at the pitch, and contacts the catcher on his follow-through. The result of the contact knocks F2 to the ground, causing him to drop the ball. B1 runs to first base and is safe. Ruling. B1 is declared out. Situation D. With R1 on first base and R2 on second base, 1 out and 2 strikes on B4. R1 and R2 attempt a double steal. B4 swings and misses the pitch and interferes with F2's attempt to throw out either R1 or R2. Ruling. If in the umpire's judgment, F2 could have made a putout on the runners but cannot determine where the play was going to be made because of the nature of the interference, the umpire shall then call out the runner nearest home plate, which is R2. Situation E. With less than 2 outs, R2 on second and B2 at the plate. R2 attempts to steal third. In the process, B2, who bats right-handed after swinging or not swinging at the pitch, A, makes no attempt to get out of the way of F2 throwing to third, or B, is unable to make an attempt to get out of the way of F2 throwing to third. As a result, F2 cannot make a play on the runner. Is B2 out and must R2 return to second? Ruling. B2 is not guilty of interference in A or B. B2 is entitled to his position in the batter's box and is not subject to being penalized for interference unless he moves or reestablishes his position after F2 has received the pitch, which then prevents F2 from attempting to play on a runner. Failing to move so F2 can make a throw is not batter interference. Situation F. R3 on third. 1 out and 2 strikes on B3. B3 swings and misses the pitch. The ball bounces off F2's glove into the air where it is hit by F3's follow-through. The ball rolls back to the backstop. B3 reaches first base safely and R3 scores. Ruling. The ball is dead immediately. B3 is out for interference and R3 returns to third base. A batter is entitled to an uninterrupted opportunity to hit the ball, just as the catcher is entitled to an uninterrupted opportunity to field the ball. Once the batter swings, he is responsible for his follow-through. Situation G. With no outs and F1 in the set position, R3, who is on third base, attempts to steal home. F1 legally steps backward off the pitcher's plate and throws to home. B2 hits the ball. Ruling. Typically, batter's interference is delayed dead ball in order to give the defense an opportunity to make an out on the initial put-out attempt. Since the batter hit the ball, the defense was not afforded an opportunity to make a play. Therefore, the ball is declared dead immediately. R3 is out because of B2's interference. Situation H. With one out and R3 on third and R1 on first, R1 attempts to steal second. B3 interferes with F2. F2's throw is in time to retire R1 on the play. R3 scores. Ruling. Since F2 was able to retire R1, the interference is ignored and the ball remains live. Therefore, R3's run counts. Situation I. With the batter on third base and one out, B3 receives the ball for the base on balls. B3 takes several steps towards first base and then realizes he is still holding onto the bat. With his dugout on the third base side, he stops and tosses the bat in front of home plate towards his bench. As he tosses the bat, F2 throws the ball to third in an attempt to put out R3. The ball contacts the bat in midair and is deflected into dead ball territory. Ruling. The ball is dead. Interference is declared on the batter. If R3 had been attempting to steal home, R3 would have been declared out and B3 awarded first base on the base on balls. If R3 was attempting to return to third base on the play, B3 is declared out for the interference. Situation J. With R1 on first base, B2 swings and misses the pitch for strike one. His follow-through hits the catcher while he is attempting to throw out advancing R1. Ruling. B2 is out and R1 is returned to first base. Situation K. With less than two outs, R3 attempts to steal home. B2 swings and misses the pitch for strike two. On the follow-through, his bat releases and strikes F2 in the face mask. Ruling. The ball is dead. R3 is declared out with two outs. The batter is declared out. 7-3-6. Situation A. In hitting a slow roller to F5, A. The whole bat slips out of his hands and interferes with F5. B. The bat breaks and hits the ball, or F5, as he attempts to field the ball. Ruling. In A, the ball is dead immediately. B1 is declared out for interference because B1 is responsible for controlling his bat and not allowing it to interfere with the defensive player attempting to play. In B, there is no penalty and the ball remains live. 7-3-7. Situation. Prior to the pitch, R1 is on first base, R2 is on second base, R3 is on third base. B4 makes contact with the catcher while taking a practice swing. Ruling. The ball is dead immediately. No runners advance. Batter is out. 7-4-1. Situation A. With R1 on first, B2 has two strikes and swings at the next pitch. F2 drops the ball and fails to throw to F3 at first. There are A. No outs, or B. Two outs. In A, B2 is declared out because first base was occupied. In B, B2 is safe at first if he reaches first before the half inning ends or before all infielders leave the diamond. He is out if he gives up by entering the bench or dugout area. Situation B, with A, 1 out, or B, 2 outs, and R3 on third and R2 on second, F2 drops the third strike delivered to B5. Ruling: B5 is safe at first if either A or B, he reaches base before the ball is held by the fielder touching the base, or before he is tagged out, provided in A, it is before time of the next pitch to following batter, or he enters his bench, and is provided in B, it is before the half inning ends. Situation C. It is a delayed dead ball when A, an infield fly occurs, B, a fair fly, fair line drive, or fair bunt in flight is declared intentionally dropped by an infielder, C, a spectator leans into center field and deflects the batted ball in flight that fielder could have caught, or D, a batted ball in flight over foul ground in front of the stands is touched by a spectator and the catcher then catches it in flight. Ruling: None of these cause a delayed dead ball. In A, nothing has occurred to cause the ball to become dead. In B, the ball is declared dead as soon as the infielder intentionally drops the ball. All runners return to bases occupied at the time of the pitch. In C and D, the ball becomes dead as soon as the spectator touches it. The batter is out when interference by a spectator clearly prevents any fielder from catching the batter's fly ball. If the umpire does not impose any penalties or makes any awards to nullify the act of interference, then all runners must return to the bases they legally occupied at the time of the pitch. Situation D, with R2 on second and R1 on first. B1, using an illegal bat, hits a ground ball to F6, who steps on second base in time for the force out on R1, but then throws the ball into dead ball territory. R2 advances to third base, then scores. B3 advances to second base. Prior to the next pitch, the illegal bat is detected and brought to the attention of the umpire-in-chief. Ruling: The umpire will give the defense the option of taking the result of the play or having the illegal bat penalty in force, which would result in B3 being called out and R2 and R1 returning to the bases occupied at the time of the pitch. In addition, the penalties of 413B are applied to the head coach. Situation E. The umpire calls infield fly a fair, but the ball curves to foul territory. Ruling: The announcement is reversed. It is not an infield fly, but an ordinary foul. The batter is not out unless the foul fly is caught. If the fly is caught, each runner must retouch his base before attempting to advance. Situation F. With less than 2 outs and R2 on second and R1 on first, B1 hits a pop-up that comes down over foul territory. Is this an infield fly if A, it touches the ground out of reach of all infielders and then takes a long hop into fair territory between home and first base? Or B, it is within the reach of a fielder who does not touch it and the ball bounces into fair territory? Ruling: Not an infield fly in A if the umpire thinks it is not within the reach of any fielder, but it is a fair ball. In B, it is an infield fly. Situation G. With R2 on second and R1 on first and 1 out, B4 hits a high fly to second base, which could have been caught by F4. Neither the umpire declares infield fly. F4 unintentionally drops the ball, but picks it up and tags R2, who is off the base. Ruling: The half inning is over, as R2's out is the third out. The infield fly for the second out holds even though it was not declared. The situation determines the out, not the declaration. The umpire should always declare infield fly if fair to lessen any confusion. Situation H. B1 batting hits a high foul pop-up just beyond first base. F3 starts towards the ball. B1's coach tries to get out of the way of F3, but hinders his attempt to catch the ball. Ruling: the ball is dead. B1 is out due to his coach's interference with F3. Though unintentional, the interference still stands. Situation I. Team A has a runner on second base. B2 hits a high foul fly ball in the vicinity of the on-deck circle. The on-deck batter, while watching the catcher coming towards him, backs away from the ball but into the path of F5, making contact. Ruling: B2 is out.